Hey y'all, welcome back to Mama Loves Manga. Today I'm here to do what I think is going to be the final video in my manga shelf overview. Hopefully. Thank y'all so much for sticking around and watching these videos. I hope that you're at least entertained by them. They're not necessarily the most helpful videos. Really the reason I've been doing this series is to give y'all an idea of what I have on my shelves at the moment, to let y'all get to know me a little bit, at least to get to know my reading taste. If you want to know what I am reading at the moment, definitely follow me on Instagram or Twitter or both. Anyway, I have this big old stack. Oh, let's see. No. Oh, I don't want it to fall. Okay. I have this big stack over here. It fell. It's quite a bit of manga. These are all series that I am currently collecting. Some of them are ongoing, some of them are finished, and I've just been collecting little by little. So let's get into this stack. So on the top is Omnibus Volume 1 of Ranma 1/2. This is by Rumiko Takahashi. Everyone knows this manga by now. I actually have never read this and I've wanted to for a long time. I came across the single volumes at Half Price Books, and it was the old single volumes that are flipped for Western readers, and I got really excited when I saw them and bought all of the ones that were available, and then I got home and kind of regretted it because I do not like flipped manga. I know that's super pretentious and annoying, but I love reading manga in the traditional way because it's just what I'm used to. That's how I started reading manga. So when I find series that were printed before I started reading manga and they were flipped, it's just, I found this at a little bookshop in Brooklyn. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. If I remember, I'll put it in the description box if you want to stop by. But I was super happy to find this because I had been planning to buy this anyway. So it was there, and it was the universe was like, there you go, girl. Now you can buy it. Let's go ahead and move on to what's next on this pile, and that is Full Metal Alchemist. I am familiar with this story because I love the anime. I actually love both versions of the anime. I think they both have their merits. However, I've never read the manga, so I can't compare those two with the actual source material. I have wanted to collect the manga for a long time but kept putting it off until they started releasing these beautiful, absolutely beautiful hardcovers. These are so stunning. I have up to volume 4 and I'm waiting to read this until everything is out so that I can just binge read it. But I'm very, very excited because I do have a lot of love for this series, and I think it'll be cool to see how the manga either is the same or differs from the anime. I'm sure it's going to be better because usually the source material is better than the adaptation. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll do a comparison video. Probably not though. Next, I have Blank Canvas by Akiko Higashimura. This is her autobiographical series, and I have volume 2. I haven't read it. I accidentally somehow pre-ordered 2 copies of this, so I will be doing a giveaway in the very, very near future. Next, I have Oku the Inner Chambers by Fumi Yoshinaga. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that this is one of my favorite series of all time. It may very well be my favorite, but it's hard to say because I love so many series. It's an incredible series and I will push it. I want everyone to read this. This is an award-winning series, and yet I feel like there are a lot of people who still have not read it. And I think maybe people are afraid it's going to be boring because it's historical fiction. This is nowhere near boring. It's not even close to boring. Just the things that happen in this, it's wonderful. I have up to volume 15 in this series, and I'm not quite sure how many more there will be. I should probably have looked that up before I started this video, but it is what it is. Next, I have Happy Mania by Moyoko Ano. I only have volume 1. This is a completed series, but I do not know how many volumes it contains. This is out of print as well. I believe I found this at Half Price Books or something like that. I was intrigued. I've read some of Moyoko Anno's works fairly recently, and I know that she writes some things with characters that are not the most likable. She definitely tackles some sensitive subjects, and I like that about her. The last manga I read by her was In Clothes Called Fat. Now that is a one-shot I chose not to keep on my shelves, mainly because it was very triggering for me. I didn't like how it made me feel. I don't blame Moyoko Anno. It's my own trauma that I need to, you know, deal with. So yeah. Anyway, back to Happy Mania. The first volume really grabbed me and made me want to read more, so I do want to try to get my hands on the rest of this series just to see what happens to this girl, because she's, I don't want to say she is an awful person, but she definitely does some awful things and makes some awful decisions. Next I have Ryuko. This is by Eldo Yoshimizu. I picked this up while I was in Toronto at a bookstore called Silver Snail, and it was a super cool bookstore. It also has like a cafe attached to it. It's very trendy, youthful, and hip. I have not read this yet, but this is about a woman yakuza. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I love yakuza stories, and I especially love badass women, and she's, listen. Moving on, I have volume 2 of Wandering Island. I have not read this volume, but I did read volume 1, and I really loved the first volume. I was hesitant to purchase volume 2 because I had seen a review, I think on Amazon, and the person was saying that volume 2 is not as good. Volume 2 felt empty to them. So I was hesitant, but I decided to go ahead and pick it up because the art in this is absolutely stunning and the general story is very interesting. Because when it comes down to it, I take every review that I read or even watch with a grain of salt. If you are really curious about something, go ahead and pick it up and read it for yourself. Next, I have volume 1 of The Way of the House Husband. Now this one, as I'm filming this, is not yet available. This is an early copy. If you follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you would have seen me talk about this. I am very excited about this series. I am so grateful to my friends at Viz for reaching out and asking me if I wanted an early copy, because absolutely, I'm so excited about this release that I had forgotten. I had already pre-ordered it months ago. So this will be going in the giveaway. Not this particular volume, but the new volume. Once it arrives, it's gonna be, oh, who is texting me while I'm filming a video? Let me check that actually. Anyway, I posted a first impressions video on my IGTV, so go ahead and check that out if you want my thoughts on this one. Next, I have volume 1 of Skullface Bookseller Honda-san. I did a first impressions video of this one as well on my IGTV. I'll put a link for that in the description box as well. So let's move on to the next one. What Did You Eat Yesterday by Fumiyoshi Naga. I have up to volume 13, except I don't have volume 9. There is a long-ish story behind that. I'm very frustrated. What Did You Eat Yesterday is a slice of life story featuring a gay couple, and they are I just love them. They're in their mid to late 40s, and one of them is a lawyer, one of them is a beautician. The lawyer has a passion for home cooking. It's such a cozy, lovely story, and I wish that I had volume 9 so that I could continue reading it. Next, I have Satoko and Nada. I have volume 2. I have not read this one yet. I did read volume 1 when it came out, and I absolutely loved it. It's a very sweet 4-panel comic about 2 young women who are in college. One of them is Japanese, one of them is from Saudi Arabia, and they are college roommates in the States. So they're learning not just about each other's cultures, but also trying to navigate American culture, and it's really interesting and fun. Next up, I have Beastars Volume 1. This is a series I started after it was sent to me early by Viz. I think volume 2 is coming out soon. I really loved this first volume, and if you want my opinions on this one, I do have a first impressions video also on my IGTV, so go check that out. Next, I have Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card. This is the follow-up to the original Cardcaptor Sakura. I have volumes up to volume 5. I have not actually read the original Cardcaptor Sakura, which in fact, while I'm talking about this, I'll just bring this out. I have not read this, and I am waiting until all of these special edition volumes come out so that I can just binge read the whole series. Because I haven't read this, I haven't read this, and there you go. Next, I have The Promised Neverland. I have up to volume 10. I did do a first impressions of this on my IGTV if you're curious about what my initial thoughts were. I have not read any more since then because I am waiting until more comes out. I find that with most series I get a lot more out of it if I just read it all at once. There are some series I've made exceptions for, and you'll see those as we continue on in this list. Next, I have City by Keiichi Arawi. This is a funny slice of life surreal comedy. If you are a fan of Nichijou, My Ordinary Life, you will enjoy City. I think it's geared towards a little bit of an older audience, but it can be read really by anyone. There's nothing inappropriate in here. It's still funny. It's just that the main characters are college age instead of in like elementary or high school, and it's just cute. I want to say I have read the first 2 to 3 volumes, if I remember correctly. It's been a little bit because I've been collecting this for a little while. I'm definitely gonna have to reread this once all of the volumes are out, which is why I prefer to binge read. Next, I have Ron in the Grey World, and I actually have several videos where I've mentioned this and talked about this. I initially started reading this series when I partnered with Viz for the first time. I loved the first volume. I was so obsessed with it. I loved the second volume, and then once the third volume came out, I started to get a little bit worried, and I made a video which I will link. I think it'll pop up here, wherever that eye pops up. Go watch my video where I share my opinions about this, but I'm still collecting it. Okay. Next, I have Flying Witch by Chihiro Ishizuka. I love this. I love this series so much. It seems to release very slowly. This is volume 7, and this is the most recent as far as I know. I have not sat down to read this yet. I do want to sit down and reread the whole series from the beginning because there are a lot of things I've forgotten. It's such a sweet slice of life series about a witch. It's so good. Next, I have Arakawa Under the Bridge by Hikaru Nakamura. Y'all probably know at this point that I love this. Unless you're new. If you're new, you don't know what I love, which is why I'm doing these videos. Honestly, this is another one that I'm going to start again from the beginning because I have let too much time go in between reading, I think, volume 5 and this one. There are 9 volumes total. These are omnibus versions, and there are 9 of them total. I have up to 6. I think 7 might already be out. If not, it's coming out very soon. Like, it's almost done, and so I'm really at this point just waiting for the rest of them to come out so that I can just start over and reread it from the beginning to refresh myself on certain details. But this is such a funny, goofy, silly series, and I will talk about it more once it's finished. Next, I have Hakume to Mikochi. Hakume and Mikochi. Did I say that correctly? I hope so. Ooh. Another wonderful, cozy slice of life series. It follows these 2 little cutie pies right here. They are friends. They live together. And I've only read the first 2 volumes. They're so much fun, and there's food involved and friendship. Food and friendship, that's very, very much right up my alley. Cute little animals. It's just cute, and the art is cute. It's cute. How many times can I say cute? Cute, 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 cute. Cutie, cute, 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 cute. Cute! Wow. Here I have Wotakoi by Fujita. This is one that I have read as it's been released, and I'm so upset because volume 4 was pushed back to, I think, what, February in 2020. We're supposed to get it, I think, a couple months ago or something. I don't know. We were supposed to get it earlier, and we're not getting it earlier now, and it is what it is. I can't do anything about it, but I am a little sad. This is about a couple of nerd couples, and it's great. I have said, maybe not here on the channel, but maybe like on my Instagram and things like that, that Hirotaka, the main love interest guy, reminds me a lot of my husband. And it's very funny because they happen to have the same birthday, March 20th. And also, my husband used to wear glasses, and you know, I also mentioned that I have a thing for people who wear glasses. I'm not talking about myself, although I do really like myself. Let's just move on, okay? You know, let's just... I have New Game. I have up to volume 6. They're adorable. Oh, this is really cute. I like this scene. I'm not gonna show y'all. My battery is about to die. You know what? The struggle. Next, I have Natsume's Book of Friends. This is by Yuki Midorikawa. I have up to volume 10. This has over 20 volumes at this point. I have read volume 1 and I loved it so much, which is why I went ahead and purchased up to volume 10. So I do want to go ahead and start reading this because there are so many volumes out right now that I feel like I can definitely read enough to catch up, and I don't think that I will need to start from the beginning by the time the next volume comes out, if that makes sense. Did what I say make sense? I hope so, because I don't want to say it again. Whew, this one, Murcielago. I have up to volume 9. I did a chopping block video for this one as well because I am not sure if I'm going to continue with the series. So this next group of manga series are series that have been completed for a long time, and they are also out of print, but I'm slowly collecting them, and I'm not in a major hurry. If I can find them for a not ridiculous price, great. If not, I'll just wait until I can. So first I have Eternal Sabbath by Fuyumi Soryo. I found volumes 1 through 7 at Half Price Books, and I thought that it was a 7-volume series until I looked online and found out it's an 8-volume series. So I do need to get volume 8 so that I can actually sit down and read this. Next I have Beauty Pop by Kyoko Arai. I have volumes 1 and 2. I also found these at Half Price Books. I picked this up because it seems like it's a very cute story. It's centered around these kids that go to a cosmetology like high school, I guess. And I've mentioned in previous videos that I was a cosmetologist. I did decide to let my license go just a year or two ago because I realized that I'm probably never going to work again as long as we live in this town, because there's no one here whose hair I actually want to work on. Next I have Paradise Kiss by Ayazawa. Ayazawa also wrote Nana. I do have Nana on my Kindle, and I do plan to go ahead and get physical copies of that because I do realize that technically I don't own the digital manga that's on my Kindle. I do want to get physical copies of those just in case something happens, because you never know. Next I have Zombie Loan. This is by Peach Pit. Now I first heard about Zombie Loan through the anime. I watched the anime years ago. This was back when I used to watch anime a lot. I used to watch a lot of anime. I did watch it legally, okay? So don't come for me. But I remember loving that anime so much. It's about a high school girl who can see, she can see when people are going to die. She ends up basically dying herself, if I remember correctly, and she's saved or brought back to life or something like that. She enters into a contract with these two guys who are zombies themselves. You know what? I don't remember as much as I thought I did. When I saw this at Half Price Books, I went ahead and grabbed it. I have up to volume 6. I cannot remember how, I think there's like maybe 8 volumes or 12. Something around either 8 to 12 volumes. And finally, I have Chibi Vampire, which I did go ahead and grab the entire stack of what I have because there are a lot of gaps. I got these also at Half Price Books. So if you have a house price book, if you have a Half Price Books in your area, please hit them up if you haven't, because their manga section is actually not that bad depending on which one you go to. I first found out about this series also through the anime, but the anime was called Corinne. It was just a very interesting take on a vampire story, and I remember really enjoying the anime. Honestly, Corinne, I may have watched that one illegally, like if I'm being 100% honest, because it was so long ago. I probably did, and I am sorry for that. I don't do that anymore, because that's what you do when you realize that something is not good. You stop doing it and you don't make excuses. It's that simple. So I have volume 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11. I definitely Googled this to see how many volumes there were, but I forgot, so I don't know. But it's not much more than 11, I don't think. That's it. I think we're done. I think this series, this manga shelf overview, is done. I'm really excited because that means that from this point on, I can do other videos. On that note, I think it's time for me to go, and it's time for y'all to sit down and read your manga. Bye. Also, how cute is this t-shirt? I would talk about this t-shirt, but y'all can't get this t-shirt because my friend used to make, it was a fan art t-shirt. She doesn't sell these anymore. So I'm not gonna advertise it because you can't get it, and I'd feel bad if I made y'all think that you could. I need it.